So because we only have one console, there's a slight changeover each time for each map, but it's only about maybe 40 seconds or so. If the other console is updating, there's in the middle of updates, because I had, it's kind of a long story, we moved one map from one map to the other, you don't want to do it, and it started updating and stuck in updates, 3 weeks of updates. Yeah. Yeah. Does that work? Maybe.
It's coming straight from PS3.
Do
It's
it
all
for
done
the
in paint.
lights.
Hmm?
Original lights.
No.
We're gonna play it a little bit more, and then what time is it now? You got the time?
It is
Almost 6?
5. Yeah, 5 till.
Okay, so do you want to do one more, and then talk,
Yeah.
if we can, and maybe
Yeah, you
people
can
can
push it a little bit.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Why don't you do that?
Yeah. Do you have an idea where it is?
Yeah, we
Oh,
had
it's
to,
marked.
it's right here. Yeah, we had to adapt the set list for the technical issues, but thank you for your patience. Are there any musicians in the room?
So the,
Musician, right?
Missouri is here.
Yeah. I thought that was you. How are you? Good. Thanks for coming.
So this next one is sort of a playable game that we created. When I say sort of playable, we haven't really had a lot of testing done with it. It's based on the work of Giorgio Chirico, who's a Italian, proto-surrealist Italian painter. And we liked what he was doing with kind of warping time and space in his paintings, and we thought that video game engines were really adapted to that kind of work to kind of change things in a really interesting way in 3D space. So we did it.
Have you put any of these on YouTube or?
Yeah, it's on Vimeo actually. If you search Foci and Loci on Vimeo, we have a bunch of stuff up there. So
Okay, plus Loci.
yes. Oh yeah, we want that instead. stuff, if people are coming in and or anybody needs to leave, we'll cut that part short. But I feel like this is kind of a piece we really wanted to do, and it involves.
This is like our newest evolution, so it'd be nice to show it to you, and if you have feedback, that would be great. Thanks.
Restarted, sorry. I'm not sure.
It's also a different version that we used to
Yeah, we'll just take a second to reload it.
maps real quick, or does anybody want to see anything, kind of the inside guts of this thing and how it works? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think would be a good candidate for that?
Let's see. We have, we could open a triangle if you want.
Okay.
The thing is,
Or
yeah.
this is pretty complex, right?
Okay,
We should
sure.
show this.
Let's do that.
Yeah, right. So this is one of the more complex pieces because it's much more musical, so there are a lot of sequences of music that were written using the sound objects in the game. Tamara wrote the piece, the musical part score for this on the Game Boy. We then took the notes from that, just from the tracker part of the Game Boy, and we translated it or transposed it to these instruments. So in Little Big Planet, this is the title of the piece that we never show because we never got around to getting that to work. That's supposed to show up at some point, but we never got around to doing it. This is called a controlinator. I'll just talk for a few minutes and then Tamara can take over. But this is one of the main ways that you use Little Big Planet. Some of you might know that it has a very extensive create mode, and that's kind of one of the selling points of the game is that there's 3 of them now. The third one just came out. And the create mode allows you to make your own levels of the game, right, to collect these little bubbles. It's basically like a souped-up side-scroller, but you can also build pretty much anything. I mean, they give you these amazing tools to work with. So you see here, this is just basic stuff like glue and just a little cursor. Then you've got cameras down here, some movie cameras, which will basically you can make them move, pan, fade, crossfade, etc. Still game cameras that just stay on an object. Then over here you've got all these like logic gates, like AND gates, OR gates. If you know anything about programming, this is basic programming stuff. So you can kind of take that and do things with it. Are you setting up for your next one?
Yeah, okay. I'm the next one. You're totally cool. I just
Okay.
wanted to like get this laptop plugged in
Yep.
and everything.
Just let us know if you need us to finish, because we'll just do a couple minutes and
Fine.
that's okay, thanks. Okay, so batteries, we've got sequencers here, so a lot of this stuff is already in the map. So
It's fine. We're not starting.
just want to show you, this is a sequencer. This is like a gameplay sequencer. You can put batteries on it, you can have it trigger any of these things that you build. We've built a bunch of these mechanisms in here. We also have emitters, which emit objects. So this is emitting the rolling balls that happen. This is the controlinator. So the controlinator is basically like a model of the game controller where you can pull a wire directly off of any button and attach it to any object. So depending on the object, it will do different things. So like if that was going to a lighting object, or let's find something here that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Chris, come on up
Just
here
go-
whenever you want.
as an example, I'm just going to throw a lighting object on here. So you go to the wrong place. Everything is moved in this version of the game.
This is PlayStation 3, right?
This is
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 running Little Big Planet 3. So this game just came out. We're still not completely.
Oh, this is Little Big Planet 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this map was actually made in 2, and we moved it into 3. So I'm just trying to find things here because they moved everything around in the menus. Is it the bottom? One of the pages.
Yeah. Yeah, you just missed it.
No, here it is.
Oh.
Yeah, well, two groups. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a light. You have gravity tweakers, you have lighting tweakers, you have audio tweakers. They'll just kind of do global stuff. So this will just globally change the lighting. So you can just set it to whatever you feel like works. Lots of fog, make it really dark. You can change color correction here, make it black or white, etc.
You can also sequence lighting changes using
Right.
that other sequencer panel up there.
So if I just took this and did that, and
I
then
have a question. Does this
Yeah.
represent a timeline of sorts? In other words,
yes.
this is sequential, because my thought was more like, especially because you had control over where in the stage you moved,
Yes.
that it can sort of happen, you can trigger it at will. I was just sort of.
Yes.
That's, yeah.
Both of those things are
Cameras
true.
can be
Okay.
sequenced also or controlled manually.
Yeah.
So I was just.
What, the randomizer? There is a randomizer.
Okay.
Yeah. it's
So
a
my
separate
question
object.
was, in these maps, or I guess this map that you're showing us, was it more of a sequenced time, a series of effects, or more something that you triggered on the fly?
There
The
were-
music was largely sequenced,
Yeah,
Um,
in the space.
but it's happening in real time. It's
Right.
actually playing back notes in real time. It's not recorded music per se.
Yeah.
And then almost all of the events were, triggered manually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we let the boys go wherever they want to go. That's fairly algorithmic. Then the whole idea was to kind of build an algorithmic piece that would change the music depending on where that ball was. And it goes there's so many possibilities for the track that it will just randomly take you wherever.
Composition is laid into the space, and then there are independent audio events also placed within the map. So wherever, the rolling object is, that's what it's going to play. But they also have cameras attached to it. So that's one will pick up another one and randomize the audio results.
So this is how the music happens. These are emitters, and each of these emitters has a sound object coming out of it. So it's like a little piece of hologram material with a sound object on it. Each of the sound objects is tuned to a specific note. The sequencer down in the bottom of the map, which is really big, I'm not going to open it because it slows everything way down if I open it.
Yeah.
But that causes these emitters to happen in a specific time. Each of these little panels here, we've got I think 6 of them, has the same, they're all playing the same thing with different instruments. So if your rollie is going by this panel, you're hearing a piano. If it's going by a different panel, you're hearing a different instrument. So in that way, we kind of algorithmically build a piece of music that changes depending on where that rollie goes, which is also based on very random events that happen in the map. Yes?
How much of this is architecture came up with, and how much of this was like a community, like stuff you found other community members who make music, came up with?
I'd like to say we were more involved in that Little Big Planet community, but we really don't
Yeah.
pay attention to it at all.
This is all original.
But it's mostly about time. We just don't have the time to search for this stuff, but and we just get into this and we make it ourselves. So everything here that you see was built from scratch, like all the track, all the mechanisms, everything. Yeah.
How did you come up with the idea to make these more?
And it's funny. I mean, I guess we've seen things like I remember I did a thing with Katie Salen. And Katie Salen's like a game theorist, and she runs a school up in New York. And I came in and talked to her class once about work, and I guess we were what's it called, reviewing their work.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, critiquing their work, and they were using Little Big Planet, and I had seen it before, but I never used it, and they were trying to build sound instruments. So Little Big Planet 1, right? So this is 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and I was intrigued. I was like, they didn't really come up with anything usable. It was kind of an experiment, but I thought, wow, I could take this a lot further. I need to get my hands on this. So that was where the community input came from mainly, was that first. But then once we started working with it together, we both started just coming up, because it's such an extensible tool, that it's really easy to imagine all these things you can make. There's also like, gears and mechanisms that can make things move, pivots, pistons, all these machinery parts that you can put in there that'll, help you kind of build this very complex world. Yeah.
How much time did you spend setting this up?
Yeah, I was just going to make a comment about that, actually. This is like the most labor-intensive, artwork I've ever made. And it's, because it's not only like, experimenting and setting up, like coming up with the structure or programming the objects, but it's like things break all the time, of course, that don't make any sense. And then we have to, reconfigure or like, to build in new transitions for new shows, for new pieces. So this, I don't know, how many months?
Yeah, this particular piece has gone through about, I think, 15 revisions. And each one of them, was hours and hours of work. So we've kind of been working on this for months, but along with a bunch of other pieces as well. So, it's something that's hard to do, get much of this done in your spare time. You kind of have to dedicate yourself to it a bit. But to do simple things with it, you can do really cool, simple things with it. We just got bored of the simple things and we started making it really complex. But yeah, you can definitely do interesting, simple stuff with it. Yes?
Did you ever get frustrated with having to use a controller instead of a mouse?
I don't know. I guess I'd say do it. Maybe.
I like the controller. We're
She's got a pretty pink controller here.
experimenting with alternative, methods of, controllers. So I'm actually building a floor controller right now, working across a big device, to like remap it to that instead of like on the table or the floor. So we're trying to push it in a gestural direction a little bit. Yeah.
It is kind of an interesting tool to use for performance. It's strange. It's not easy to use for performance. There are a lot of things that go wrong, like updates on your PS3.
Oh, God.
That was something I should have foreseen. We had to move one of the maps from one PS3 to the other. And when I did it, it said, well, you have to update the game first. And when I hit that, I saw 3 gigabytes of download starting. And if I stop it, the game won't work. So,
Yeah.
but I think probably we should knock off here.
Yeah.
Yes.
GTFO.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, everybody, for sticking around. Really appreciate your patience.